Now, from WYDC TV, this is Big Fox News at 10.
The pandemic-era policy that allowed the U.S. to swiftly expel migrants, known as Title 42, expired at midnight. And it's not just Texas that is bracing for an influx of migrants. Cities all across the U.S. are preparing to receive busloads of people at potentially record numbers, straining resources as migrants head north from the border. Alexandria Hoff has more from Washington.
The migrant crisis is stretching far beyond the southern border, from Washington, D.C. to Chicago, where asylum seekers are packing into police stations and sleeping on floors of city buildings. With local shelters at capacity, the mayor of Chicago issued an emergency declaration. In New York, new buses arriving Friday morning, one of the so-called sanctuary cities where they won't enforce federal immigration laws.
For some reason, this is all left up to cities like New York City. And we simply can't. It's unsustainable. We cannot handle the immigration problem all on our own. It's unfair to ask New York City to do that.
New York Mayor Eric Adams now facing fierce backlash for a plan to bus migrants to surrounding counties in upstate New York, prompting local officials to get a temporary restraining order to keep migrants from being bussed in. But advocates say that they are ready to make accommodations. City officials are setting up 130 emergency shelters and 8 humanitarian relief centers to try and keep up with the influx.
Unlike the rhetoric that's out there, I think the city has been diligent in setting up enough resources. There are other organizations, community members that are willing to step up and support in any way possible.
Denver is also struggling to handle the sudden surge in people.
We're doing everything we can as a local municipality to address this. However, we can't do it alone.
Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas says migrants are being used as, quote, a pawn for political purposes. In Washington, Alexandria Hoff, Fox News.
2 more southern tier counties have declared states of emergency following Title 42's expiration. Schuyler and Cayuga counties have each issued executive orders prohibiting county business or residences from making a contract that would transport asylum seekers to the respective counties. Anyone found guilty of violating the orders may face hefty fines. Both counties argued that they do not have the resources or services to be able to accommodate the sudden influx of people. A Marine veteran accused of killing a New York City homeless man on a subway turned himself into police this morning. 24-year-old Daniel Penny walked into the 5th Precinct in Lower Manhattan, facing second-degree manslaughter charges in the chokehold death of Jordan Neely. Penny allegedly put Neely in a chokehold after Neely was reportedly screaming on the subway last Monday. Neely, a 30-year-old homeless man, had a long history of mental illness and left his court-mandated mental health program after 2 weeks. Penny's lawyers say he never intended to harm Neely. He was arraigned today and released on $100,000 bond. Cayuga Health announcing that all mandatory mask mandates for patients and visitors have been lifted. The healthcare system citing reduced COVID transmission rates as the reason behind the announcement. Self-screening stations will be implemented at all Cayuga Health facilities. Cayuga staff will continue to wear N95 masks when interacting with patients suspected to be COVID positive. The policy is subject to change as Cayuga continues to monitor COVID transmission across the community. With Mother's Day this weekend, people are finding different ways to show appreciation for their moms. Big Fox's Josh Feldberg spoke to some local businesses about how they're seeing increased traffic this time of year.
Mother's Day is an opportunity to celebrate and honor the mothers who helped shape and influence our lives. One of the most common Mother's Day traditions is to buy your mother a fresh bouquet of flowers. With the high increase of demand this time of year, flower shops here in the southern tier put their businesses in overdrive to make sure every mother can feel the appreciation they deserve.
It's very busy. You gotta get your flowers ready, get your orders in, and just your basic cleanup, and you want everything to look nice.
At Rustic Rose Floral and Gift Shop, the phone was ringing nonstop as Tammy and Ed worked to get all their orders done in time for Sunday.
And Mother's Day weekend, so she's lucky she's standing here now and she's not on the phone, because
it'll ring.
Either coming through the phone or the computer. So,
according to Ed and Tammy, flowers can be the perfect gesture to show somebody that you're thinking of them.
most mothers really puts a smile on their face. I mean, I've delivered to people 80, 90 years old, and when you go up to the door, they're like, you can just see their face light up, that somebody sent them some flowers.
It's not only floral shops that feel the effects of Mother's Day. Local jewelry stores, wellness centers, and restaurants all told Big Fox that they see an increased business around this time of year. No matter how you celebrate the holiday, we here at Big Fox would like to wish all the mothers across the Twin Tiers a happy Mother's Day this weekend. Josh Feldberg, Big Fox News, Corning.
Eldridge Park announcing the dates for this year's opening weekend. The historic amusement park's opening ceremony and annual Riderless Memorial Ride will be held Friday, May 26th at 5 p.m. This year, the park will host brand new events, including Train Day on Saturday, May 27th, to celebrate railroad history in Chemung County. Regular park attractions will be open on the weekends all summer long. A confession from embattled Congressman George Santos. According to the New York Times, the New York Republican lawmaker signing a deal with Brazilian prosecutors that he would confess and pay around $5,000 in fines in response to allegations that he stole checks to buy clothing and other products in 2008. Brazilian prosecutors say he allegedly used a fake name and a stolen checkbook to buy goods, such as tennis shoes. Santos was formally charged in 2011, but authorities lost track of him until he became a U.S. congressman last year. This all comes the same week Santos was charged by the federal government with over a dozen financial crimes, including lying and misappropriating donor funds. New leadership coming to Twitter. Elon Musk has hired media veteran Linda Yaccarino as his replacement. Yaccarino was NBC Universal's head of global advertising. She's also considered a bipartisan choice, having worked with both the Trump and Biden administrations. Musk has said his role will shift to executive chairman and chief technology officer, but he'll maintain responsibility for Twitter. New federal data shows a slowdown in a key price marker, a sign that inflation pressures are easing. Wholesale prices rose only moderately last month. The Producer Price Index, which measures prices charged by wholesalers, farmers, and manufacturers, increased 0.2%. Now that's less than expectations. Falling prices for food, transportation, and warehousing did help slow the rise. Still ahead, we have your forecast. Plus,
Mother's Day is right around the corner. I'm Kevin Cork with a look at some facts that just might surprise you. That and much more coming right up.
Here's your local stock market update from Big Fox. Now, your Twin Tiers forecast from Big Fox.
Well, good evening. Overall, we've continued to track from the beginning of this year now into the month of May. We continue to see some above average conditions, but we've definitely been seeing some bigger swings in those temperatures as we've worked our way into April and May as we try to settle out with these warmer trends. Now, definitely still on the warmer side as you even look at the last 5 days, only one day falling below average there on that Tuesday forecast. But note that we were very warm today underneath some areas of that sunshine. There was those temperatures climbing up into those 80s. Now we are tracking some changes. What we're seeing here through the overnight is that we are watching more of a northwesterly wind in place. Now it's not bringing too cool of an overnight due to some cloud cover, and the actual air mass that's associated with this cold front is taking its time to move in, which is some good news for our temperatures. It's not going to bring us this sharp cutoff. So with the frontal passage that we're seeing tonight, we're going to consider it a cool front. It's going to be a pretty dry passage. It's bringing some cloud cover with it that will linger throughout our Saturday forecast, but it's not going to drop those temperatures. There will be a little bit of a cooling trend, we'll see, but then we are going to watch another cold front on Tuesday that's going to continue to allow for this cooling trend to push on. This may bring a few showers, but it's looking to set up similar to the frontal system we're seeing tonight. Not going to equate to much more, just going to bring some passing cloud cover and continue to enforce that cooler wind before we could be talking about a rebound into next weekend, but we won't have to make much of a rebound. We're not going to drag temperatures well below average, just going to feel cooler than some of these warmer days we've had before. So as we were able to hit those 80s today, we're still warm into our Saturday. As mentioned, it's a very slow moving air mass. So, and with such a mild start to the day in those 50s, it's not going to take much to be able to get up into those 70s. Could even still flirt with the 80-degree threshold. So still a gorgeous, gorgeous Saturday setting up as we're looking at much of the area looking to climb anywhere from those mid to upper 70s. We do see a bit of that cloud cover lingering across the area, even noting a few showers there with some of that heating. There may be some redevelopment of some showers along that frontal system into the afternoon. So keep yourself wary of a sprinkle, but that should all be a sprinkle. Really, really minimal accumulation, a trace if that, maybe 1/100 of an inch. Into that Sunday Mother's Day forecast, we see that we still have that northwesterly or northerly wind in place. So we do have a cooler start to the day, should keep temperatures out of the frost potential, but still maybe if you are buying mothers a new potted plant for outside, some of those hanging plants, you want to make sure to bring those in, make sure that they are protected from that potential frost development. And then we'll see sunshine around throughout the day with temperatures still able to climb into the 60s, but not seeing that 70 extent because we have that stronger northerly flow. Now, frontal system is going to set up for Tuesday, so that allows for us to see this little touch of more of a westerly wind that could maybe bump temperatures up back into those 70s. But as that cold front passage happens again, we get another push of those temperatures down into the 60s, and then we'll at least watch temperatures hold towards seasonal through Friday.